Session for the budget to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Niner?
Here.
Councilwoman Matter? Sorry.
Michelle? Oh, yes, I'm here.
Councilwoman Emo?
I can't think today. My brain is fried.
Here. I didn't, oh,
Sorry,
Councilwoman Emo? Councilwoman Doomer?
Yes.
Mayor King?
Here. I think I'm supposed to go first, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my first time.
Either of our seats here, so.
I think I'm supposed to go first.
Just a temporary.
You hurt my feelings.
Don't do it again.
No, it's all right. I'm done. I'm done having my feelings hurt. All right, so if everyone's had a chance to look at the agenda for tonight, are there any objections to the agenda? Hearing no objections, it's passed by unanimous consent. So tonight we are here to talk about a couple capital expenditure items. I know that there was some questions about an excavator, a drone, and a UTV. So, do you want to start? Do you want to?
No, you can.
All right.
I don't know what you guys wanted to.
So what I'll do is I will let council ask their questions about those items, and we'll go from there. Start with you.
Okay.
You're right here. You sat next to me.
I have a list, so I wouldn't forget, and then hopefully they're pretty quick. How many excavators do we have?
Public Works has two.
Okay.
Parks has zero.
And how many times, what condition are they in?
Oh, they're in, the one is in a newer condition. I forget what year it is. We bought that 3 years ago, 4 years ago. The other one is an older machine, but operates and runs good.
So I just want to note, Parks did have an excavator up until, is it October?
August.
August.
Okay. Okay, and, how often, I'm just gonna ask the ones I'm gonna grow. How often do you both need to use, like, how many times a year do you both need at the same time?
I mean, it's hard to just guess that because every year is different, but this year with the trails, the work that we're trying to get done with the lake edges and everything that we have not been able to maintain, we would use it for probably, I'd say the majority of the summer, off for 3 days a week, probably. Not 5 days a week by any means, but somebody on it for the majority of the summer.
Okay, so, and then, the, $20,000 for 5 years, is that getting the excavator now and paying on it?
It's a 5-year lease to own.
It's a lease.
option.
Okay. And if we don't use capital money, can we invest it into accounts to make money? It's just a thought in my head, is that easy?
Yeah, so we keep our fund balance, we keep a portion of it in the bank so that we have easy access to it, and we keep a portion of it in what's called MOSIP, which I don't remember what MOSIP stands for, but it's basically, it's basically a place where local governments can hold their money and get a higher interest rate.
Okay.
So yeah, any money that we don't spend that sits in our fund balance does sit in one of those two accounts so that we can make that interest income.
Cool.
Now, they're liquid, their interest rate is about the same as ours for liquid, but you could do like a 6-month lock-in or that has a little bit better interest. There are different.
Yeah, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
we do that.
Yeah, Missouri Securities Investment Program.
Yeah, there we go.
So you would get the excavator like now and you start using it. So.
Just to clarify, we have 2 excavators. One is used probably, I would say 75% of the time. The other one is probably 50% of the time. So it does sit. We kept that one to use for the hammer, compactor, rough stuff, because it's harder on the newer equipment, so that's why we kept that machine. So there is the opportunity to share, but I just wanted to make sure that was on there. But it does sit.
Can I ask a question in there? Kind of based on this. No, just,
Those are my questions.
So, would there be, I know it's an if, would there be times that you would have it on a project, it's dedicated to that, and if we had something in the middle of the night, Public Works would not have access to their second excavator if they needed it?
they've always got access to our equipment, it would be the
Yeah.
opposite reverse.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Okay. Do you have anything else to ask?
What kind of, so I just talked to this guy that bought a $100,000 machinery. I'm not sure what, that's like the difference, what they are. But he told me that there was a $15,000 locator thing that you could, he's like, they offered me, pay $15,000 to be able to locate it if it ever got stolen. Is that something that's attached to this excavator or?
Most
How
of the
fancy
newer
is
equipment
it?
already have that kind of stuff built into it, like even our older cat equipment. I can look on their website and see exactly where those machines are at, how many hours are on them and stuff like that. So I think a lot of that stuff is already kind of.
Right, but it's cost extra to be able to locate it yourself. I don't know if that, and then again,
Not
it
according to
may,
what I have with the cat.
right, but it may,
I don't know.
with city, they may not charge.
They may not. Yeah,
Like,
it
I
might
don't
be.
know. It was just I just talked to somebody last weekend
Sure.
about it and I thought, well, maybe I should ask about that. I was just kind of familiarizing myself with it. Okay, I think that's all I have.
Michelle?
Of course, I have my notes at home. Telling you it's been a day. I understand excavators can cost more later if we do this. I also understand that it's just an excavator and we're just nickel and diming, the budget. But I feel like this is my opinion. If we were to buy that now, it's $20,000 a year, or right under $20,000 a year. And I'm thinking that now is not a good time to do that. That's just my opinion. And she already asked a lot of the questions I would have asked anyways. I can't think of anything else I would like to say right this second, but it may come back to me.
Pat?
Well, the only other question I have is on the excavator is, do we log our, I mean, I know it tracks, I don't know the technical term if it's a counter, but do we know how many hours it's being used? The two,
I mean, there's an hour meter on each
Yeah.
machine. Every machine has an hour meter on. You can track them. Absolutely. I have not been doing that.
We don't keep a log of these parts.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, the only time we do it, we do it for maintenance, just so we know when the oil changes and stuff like that.
and I mean, mine's not a question, it's a statement. I have a nephew who's in the excavating business, so I've done a lot of talking with him. He'll tell me that, a town our size doesn't need 3 excavators. He said it's absolutely ridiculous that we'd have 3 excavators, and I think we have some other needs that could come out of capital improvement that we could utilize those funds on versus an excavator, like the sirens. To me, the sirens is top priority because that saves people's lives.
Is the excavator in what fund? It's in the transportation fund balance, or was it in the general fund balance?
The excavator, this is all capital.
Capital, okay.
This is all capital.
Jackie?
I agree with what Pat's saying is that we're always gonna need something. And it's gonna be, equipment's gonna be high dollar and stuff. But and since I don't know that much about the machinery and all that stuff, I'm just looking at the money, not what it can do for the people that are working it and doing all this stuff. So I don't want to short sight anybody, but just on general conversation, just weighing one or the other, I would like to see if we could wait a while on that. But I don't feel that I'm really knowledgeable enough to even say that, to be honest with you. So.
Do we have a tractor? Do you guys have a tractor?
Yeah.
So, and I understand you wanted to do that to mow around the lake, which I totally get, but can we, again, I don't know the technical terms, But can you put an arm on the tractor where it does what you're wanting to do with the excavator for the lake?
I heard you can put a 3-point brush hog on the backside of it. You can't, but you can't do like the lake dam with that. You can't get pivoted to where you can actually safely perform that function. That's one of the biggest things we're trying to get both sides of the lake dam. We haven't done the backside in quite some time. It's very overgrown, which is causing some structural concerns to the dam itself. And the same thing at the lake. It's the same reason we didn't use the skid steer brush hog for the same reasons, because you have to get so close that the weight of the machine is actually pulling, basically falling apart the edge of the lake right there. So as you get close to that water's edge, it sinks down so much farther because it's soft and because it's got a drop off to it.
There's a red tractor on 58 over here.
There's a
That's
what?
laying in the water.
Oh, because of that exact thing. And will any of the excavators that we have now do what he's needing to have done?
We could rent, I mean, you can do short-term rentals and stuff like that, and mount it to one of our machines, they do have auxiliary hydraulics on it.
Is there enough, if we didn't do this, could we get a second alarm siren? Instead of doing one this year, could we do?
I think the sirens were 30,000 and this was
27, right under 20.
so it wouldn't be an even.
Right.
Where would just renting equipment, where would that have to come out of the budget was?
Usually it comes out of operating
Yeah, it would come out of
for equipment rental.
department budgets.
Okay.
Do one of those, I mean, like if we were to purchase one of those, like super expensive?
The attachment itself?
Yeah.
No. For what our purposes, it's less than $5,000 to purchase the attachment. That was part of the.
Maybe we'd be better off to purchase the attachment to go with the excavator than purchase the excavator. That, because I totally agree, we need to get the banks clean, but
Is it the brushing?
Yeah.
Well, there's the brush hog, but
It's already in there.
It is in there. We do have that one in our,
the brush hog's in there.
we already have it in the budget that you guys, from the last.
that's the attachment you're talking
Yeah.
about? Oh, okay.
And then we also have that offset mower that we had requested for our department for the front end of our skid loader, which is a track loader, which will reach out 8 feet. Now, I told Kristen before, I don't have to have that. It'd be nice for our department to be able to clean up the ditches and stuff like that, but I mean, we can get by without it too.
So what's the difference between a brush hog and then the side thing that you're talking about?
Well, it's basically a brush hog, but it's an offset. It'll reach out about 8 feet to the side, and you can lift it up and do all kinds of stuff.
Doesn't the brush hog usually go behind you?
Usually a brush hog will go behind you, but I mean, there's so many different attachments. We got brush hog, we have a brush hog for our skid loader out there that goes out in front.
Depends on the equipment you're putting.
Yeah, it depends.
Okay, just so we're on the, understand, if we have to do rentals for these things in the coming year, it's gonna have to come out of the operations, not capital, to do rentals. So we would have to probably.
But I don't, unless I'm not hearing correctly, I don't see that we would be renting because,
No, he just said at some point they may have to. I'm just saying,
Right.
if we have to do rentals for the excavator, for this, if we ran into a problem, that will have to come out of operating. We cannot take that out of capital. Which needs to come out of capital. So that will impact the other parts of the budget. And there may not be any. I just want to make sure we all understand that. So 6 months from now, when we're like, why are we taking this out of, but that's where we are. Okay, so what do you guys want to do? Like I said, my big thing is I don't like paying more money for a piece of equipment a year down the road when we could have not had to, but I get what the $20,000 a year. Just understand, some of it, yes, we can put towards tornado sirens, but that's what this money's here for.
well, I'll be the big bad person. I'm gonna say I don't think for this budget year that we need the excavator. I think My personal opinion is the sirens are more important, and even if we can't buy one, that's $20,000 that can go towards one.
Maybe next year we could get to, you know, a 2 siren.
Yeah.
You good on that?
Is there consensus?
I would agree with Pat, no excavator this year.
I really know this.
Do what you say. I'm on
She's
the
on the
fence.
fence.
Oh, I'm on the fence, like
Jackie, where are you at? Yes or no on the excavator?
I'm gonna say no, but I'm also leaning towards that I really don't think I know enough to make the best decision. I mean, this is just where I'm at.
Jeff, you want to talk about it? To try to sell that you need it?
As of, like, what we decided last year is, I think I want to say it was in March, we put the piece of equipment on Purple Wave, which is the excavator, the skid steer, and the attachments that goes along with the equipment that we were selling. And the reason behind that was so we could actually quit putting so much money towards maintenance. We had, I want to say it was like almost $8,000 in a new motor on the skid steer. And we had some hydraulic issues on the excavator, so we were spending close to $10,000 a year just in maintenance, trying to keep everything up and running. So with how positive the lease program went with the trucks and having the new equipment that way, that was the kind of the thought behind it, is we'd sell the old equipment, start this lease program to where we could actually have good maintained equipment that has a service plan integrated with it. They can spend, you know, the cost that goes towards the service, it's all part of that lease program to where they would do that maintenance for us. And that was the intent. So as of right now, Parks does not have any equipment other than the tractor. And that's the only thing we have access to on a regular basis. While Tony's very willing to share whenever he can, that of course water leaks and things like that take precedence. So as we are scheduling projects, it becomes very difficult for us to schedule and plan our projects whenever we don't really have a for sure way of having a piece of equipment that we can perform those with. Especially like right now, we're on a time crunch trying to get everything ready for the end of April for Trails Day and the World Cup coming in June, trying to get the lake and everything ready. Our crunch time is in the next 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks.
How much did you get for is that money that you got for that and on top of the 20?
No, so we actually brought in $55,000 in revenue from this current year's budget. That was the idea behind it was to pay for the 1 year lease payment for 2 pieces of equipment. We've already pulled away the skid steer as even an option. So it was originally to get 1 year's lease on a skid steer and on an excavator, and then the small pieces of the attachments that would go along with those for us to be able to perform the functions. And so we've already removed the idea of a skid steer because it is not as versatile for our projects and it's not as multifunctional. So that's why we're focusing on the excavator.
So what's the price of the excavator? So what is the total price?
It's just under $100,000. And that was the thing, is while we were trying to do this lease program so we'd have a new piece of equipment, there is cheaper options we could do to make a one-time purchase, but then we're on the hook for maintenance for everything that goes along with it as far as the service for that 5 year plan.
I'm sorry, so where's the $55,000 coming in? Where's that being?
That went towards the parks fund because our parks fund was not, the estimates were lower. Their expenses, their revenue didn't meet where they were supposed to be this year. So it actually helped with that fund balance.
So that's a portion of it's in the parks fund.
I'm not gonna deny that you probably don't have a need for it. It's just, we have a really tough budget this year.
And very high expectations of maintaining parks too.
Exactly.
So what, if we don't use this 20,000 for this excavator, 100,000 for the excavator, let's call it that, what would just be sitting there? it would be incurring interest, but not, I mean, I know interest rates aren't crazy high right now, it's not like it's $20,000. So that's what I'm mulling over is it gonna make us $500 or I don't know what the interest rate is, but it's just sitting there waiting for something. There's like, if it was 30,000 and we could get a second siren, I'd be all for it, because that's, to me, that's more important, but
I mean, you could
sometimes.
put the 20 toward a siren and use 10 from your fund balance if you wanted to do a second siren this year. That is an option. Or we could see how the sharing goes for a year and we can report back next budget year and see how we feel at that time. But it is tough. There's
So is it putting you on the spot if I said, what's your opinion, what do you think?
I mean, I trust what Jeff submitted as his needs, and, you know, the budget that I put forward to you all included it, so. That would be.
I trust you too, I don't want you to think
I
that.
appreciate that.
I do.
That didn't even come into my mind.
It's the commitment to me. It's the commitment. It's not your needs, it's the commitment of money when, but at the same time, it's not gonna go anywhere.
I do appreciate the way you explained the capital improvement to me about that it can't be moved anywhere else, it just can only be moved, spent on that, so. I guess now I've got myself back on the fence, so.
Right, that's my fence.
I guess I would be okay, I still want the sirens, but I'm kinda like where Brenda's saying, if we can't get the siren, then it's just sitting there, so.
This is on you guys. This is where I get to sit and be quiet.
I will say one more other thing on the excavators is we actually have no piece of equipment or a trailer that can move their excavators, so we have to rely on them to deliver it for us and have it on site for us to be able to do any projects.
I was gonna ask if they could permanently move it to parks.
We have
Problem
to
is
transport
that-
it from there.
Yeah, and it's not, I mean, we can schedule that kind of stuff. In my opinion, that's not a difficult issue. That is very quick and easy to move it to wherever they need it. It's not a big deal. So, I mean, that's just me and him scheduling, working together, that's all
I mean, so these are the things that are in my head and they keep coming back into my head, is that that capital, I keep forgetting the name of it, capital expenses. We get that every year. It's not going to, that part's not going to change. So
What is the capital fund balance at? What percentage?
it's not like that's attached to our freezing taxes or, you know what I mean? It's not going to be less this year. It's going to be the same.
We're at 48%.
Well, that's with all the stuff, I mean, yeah.
With these purchases, we're at 48%.
It gives you 135,000 in there.
Yeah, I
It
had
goes by off what the
recommended-
revenue is, because there's really the expenses are.
I had recommended that we keep in a decent amount in there in case you guys came up with things in your strategic planning process that you wanted to fund. But yeah, there's $137,000 in the fund balance even after all of this. That's why I said, like, if you guys want to have us take the year to try the sharing thing and use that 20,000 plus 10 out of your fund balance to do a second storm siren, we can do that.
We need two, don't we?
we need more than that.
Well, he was-
No, there's two or three that are worse than the others, is what I heard.
There's 10 of them total,
Right.
one being non-functional, and without the list in front of me, but they all need replaced. The newest one is 23 years old.
Right.
So we were gonna put 30,000 a year to replace, put them on a replacement cycle. But we could certainly do more.
But it's,
Well, can we just table excavators for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
To me, sirens is what saves people's lives. I mean, that is, I don't know how to say this, and I'm just a very brass person, but setting money aside to buy sirens is, to me, is like, doesn't make any sense. If they're not working properly. It doesn't help when a tornado comes through next week and kills half of our town because they can't be notified that there's a tornado coming through. And we're sitting here knowing that those sirens don't work.
So I
I
think,
mean, aren't we culpable on that?
No,
no,
not at all. I think it's important for you guys to understand
Okay.
that these sirens are called outdoor warning sirens. They are not meant to be heard inside your house. These are for you to get out of the park and seek shelter.
Okay.
That is the intent of these sirens. So when someone calls and says, hey, look, I didn't hear the siren in my house. Well, that's not what it's for. There's a thing called personal responsibility and buying a weather radio, getting a weather app, signing up to our system that notifies
Everbridge.
you. And so I will tell you that Harrisonville, my understanding is they're getting completely away from sirens other than in their parks and purchasing storm radios to give away, which are far more, I don't know if you guys have a storm radio, but when they go off, it is going to wake a graveyard. They are super loud inside your house. And look, I think that we need to do our very best to replace these sirens, and we need to look at legislation in terms of as we get new developments, to somehow make those developers responsible for putting more sirens in. They are a significant cost. And we're working with others within the region and the state to see what that legislation looks like and if we can legally do it. At the same time, we have to do better educating our public on these are outdoor warning sirens. If you ever notice our posts, we are not testing the tornado sirens. We're testing the outdoor warning sirens. And because that is what they're for.
Okay.
yeah.
So these were originally, just so everybody knows, because I've been down this road a million times. Warning sirens were not first put in to even be tornado sirens. They were civil defense sirens.
Yes.
They became tornado sirens in the mid-70s.
70s,
Yeah, mid-70s. They started using them also for tornadoes. They were never intended to be that. As Chief said, they're an outdoor warning system. So I didn't know this until recently, well, a couple years ago. Colorado has more tornadoes than Missouri and Kansas. I didn't either. Colorado doesn't use them. Most communities in Colorado have 0 tornado sirens because they use weather radios, the apps. I'm on the Everbridge through the county, and I get an email and a text.
Yeah, I have that.
Right. To me, that is the bigger push in the community, is getting our community to understand that they need to get these things. I mean, my house was built in the 90s. I have never heard the sirens unless I was outside. I just don't. My house is built well enough, I don't hear any of that. I don't even hear storms most of the time.
Well, I appreciate it. That makes me feel a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, well, and I wanted to speak to why not just replace all of them at one time. What's helpful about putting in place like a replacement program where you do one a year is that then every 10 years you don't have $100
Right.
or $500,000 worth of sirens to replace all at once, and then you're having a bad budget. You're going, oh no, we can't do that. So the reason to do it one a year is so that every year you just have a dedicated money source
Right.
to do one at a time.
I get that. That
So-
makes sense.
If Harrisonville is going toward
That's
apps and radios, why would we not?
why can't we use some of the capital expenses to buy weather radios and educate our community within the next?
I think that would be, if we wanted to look at that, if that was a council direction, I think that would be something that we need to research and plan, because those radios are about $30 a piece. And so we would have to figure out how many we needed, and then what about replacement? Or what about when somebody moves out? You know, how do we ensure that we have enough in stock? Does that make sense? So I think it would take some planning. But I still think we need to replace the sirens. But I think that the pattern in which we're looking to replace them is very similar to like a vehicle replacement program, you know, where you rotate your fleet ever so often. Well, that's what we're looking to do over the next 10 years, is rotate our entire fleet. And that way, 10 years, 15 years down the road, we only have one siren that has to be gone and replaced.
Just to clarify, is the one at the lake working?
No,
Is that the one we're replacing?
that is.
Good.
That is where we need one.
We need to get one there.
For you.
Okay.
And
Well, they don't need it if they can't mow it.
so, to what Chief said, just so you guys are aware how important the planning stage is gonna be. So for years, fire departments gave away smoke detectors, batteries, changing batteries. You know, and we would put one on every level of the house because that's what the requirement was. And that creates things you have to manage, because some people feel like they need more than that and they want to know why they can't get it. He got 3 because he has 3 levels, but I have 2 levels. Why can't I have 3? So it is very important that we have clear established policies on that, because
I could see that getting very expensive too, for people moving and
yes,
a high rental, community.
yeah. As amazing as it is, even smoke detectors disappear when people move out of their house. As weird as that is.
Especially
Or
around
if the battery
houses.
goes bad, they just take it down.
That's
Yeah.
what I do every time I burn the bacon.
No, we had some apartments in Raymore that we were replacing, like duplexes, we were replacing the smoke detectors in every 6 months when people left, because they would just take them with them.
And
So,
I don't know if they're better now, but Scott, working for the weather service, we thought he should have a weather radio. So we have this weather radio that would go off for like 4 or 5 counties away. We never could get it to stay. I mean, so there's a user.
I heard need some help kind of getting it
yeah,
working correctly.
yeah. Everbridge, you do not. You just put in there, you just get
what he has on his phone now.
a text, you get an email, and if there's multiple warnings going out, everything's blowing up.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll say yes on my part for the excavator.
Yes. It's not.
this is a consensus, this is not a vote, so
It's
just,
not going to, the money's not going, I mean, we can't spend it on anything else. And if we wait a year, it could be another $20,000 more. Could be, might be 10,
it's definitely not gonna be less.
for sure. And I don't know, I just think, I see the 3's excessive, but at the same time.
So if we find out that the excavator's not being used what we think is a reasonable amount of usage, can you turn it back in? How does that lease program work?
That's that question.
There's probably a penalty. I think.
Probably is like a restocking fee, kind of like
There's
what
a,
they normally
it
say.
would probably be a significant penalty.
Oh.
Yeah, you're probably gonna pay like 40,000 for them to take it back.
Yeah, you do a lease purchase, basically, you're purchasing the machine, or you're just paying it over 5 years.
Here's the thing, in 2 years, if it's just not something that we just have to have. I mean, here's the thing, in 2 years, Tony's second one is probably at a point that it is getting old. We just moved that one into doing it, and then we still have 2, and that one's out there not working now.
So you have to get a trailer for that one too?
We have a truck and a trailer, but a haul the one that we've requested.
Oh.
They're the ones that they have are much larger unit than what we're looking for.
Say that again, you have what?
We have a trucking trailer that will move the equipment that we've requested.
Gotcha.
Their machines are much bigger machines than what we're requesting.
Okay. I'm good with it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll leave it in the
Yes.
budget though.
Do we want to talk about the UTV and the drone?
I don't know anything about the drone, so I don't know.
I didn't have a problem with the drone, just for the fact that he had requested it. It was on the list for last year and wasn't able to get it. So,
Can you tell me what the drone's for again?
The drone's for a little bit of everything. In fact, the current drone that we have now is much more capable than the one, we have one already, but it's very large. This drone would be another operational drone that would be able to be used to go inside a house. Case in point, the agency I grew up in just pinned a homicide suspect in a hotel recently. And they breached the door and sent the drone in rather than sending people in. And they were able to determine that the guy had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Here a few years ago in Sugar Land, there was a barricaded gunman that they brought in a drone from another agency and sent it through the front door that was already open to see where that guy was at. So what we're looking at is purchasing 1 to 2 smaller drones that would give us the capability to get inside a house if we needed to. That may spare us from having to use force or somebody using force on our officers.
So, I think my husband asked me what the drone was. I couldn't tell him, so.
I know these are smaller ones, but I know, man, we have used Raymore PDs umpteen million times to look for elderly people that have walked off, kids that have, and I mean, when you're talking about trails, oh my God, that drone saves a whole lot of driving and walking.
So we've used ours significantly for Pleasant Hill Fire when they get brush fires. We're able to go out ahead of them and see where that fire is at. When recently the silo over here, I don't know that information got put out to everybody, but the silo over here was about to bust. And it was a significant event, and we used our drone to get footage of the silo so that the engineers could look at that footage to see what kind of public safety hazard there was and help with that planning and mitigation. Last Sunday night, we used our drone over a Peculiar Way, assisting county, and located a wanted felon who had ran from them, cracked up his car, and using the thermal capability of it, we were able to keep officers safe, track the suspect through the woods. And so these are all just operational things. Our biggest thing is being able to find people, whether that's somebody who's walked away from our nursing home, whether that's a little kid that's run off, or if it's a bad guy.
And they all, you have 3 people that can.
We have 3 drone operators, 3 licensed certified drone operators.
And just as a funny note, Raymore PD one time dropped a piece off their drone that said Raymore PD, and it landed on a person's house that was a sovereign citizen, and it caused a big thing about spying. Don't lose it. Don't put the label on parts that can fall off.
I mean, obviously that's a concern for everybody, is us using the drone, but really ours gets used for operations such as I just outlined.
Well, a little one, if you needed to go into the trail over here where you can't see the trail from the sky, you
Yeah.
could take it down and
Oh, absolutely, go right in with it.
go in right there. And I mean, that was.
How much are they?
So the ones we're looking at are about $2,500 to $3,000 each. So we're hoping to get it packaged a little too.
In movies, they're like bugs.
Well, I mean,
They
that
get
capability
small.
is out there. In fact, Blue Springs has one that launches from their police station now that is a drone as a first responder. So it goes out ahead of certain incidents. I don't know that we'll ever quite get to that level of funding that we can afford that, right?
That sounds pretty cool.
Their taxes are a little different.
Just a little bit higher than ours, similar.
Are there any other budget items? Obviously, we can still have discussion Monday night with the budget, but I want to get some of these discussions here and
No,
hash them out.
I appreciate
The time.
the time and getting get a lot clearer picture, so.
You guys, you are the first council that is asked to be this involved in the budget. And so I know that initially when they came up and said, we don't have enough money, people were like, ah. That is stuff they have always taken care of before we saw it. They've gotten us to that point. And I think it is good to be able to see it and have the discussions and get more time with it. So I'm impressed you guys wanted more time with it. It's fun, huh?
Yeah.
I walk in almost nightly downstairs and they'll be sitting in the conference room going over the budget and I ask if they've solved all our problems. And the answer's always no. All right, anything else budget-wise? Excellent. We do have a closed session that we need to have, something that came up yesterday. So need a motion to go into closed session, RSMO 610. I don't remember what the number's what. I think it's a 1.
Yes.
RSMO 610-0211 for legal actions, litigation, and attorney-client communications.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session for RSMO
610.021.
60210, or whatever you said.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes,
That's you, Missy.
sure. Councilwoman Niner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Emo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Doomer.
Yes.
All right. Going to closed. You can go to your meeting.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thanks for not throwing something at me like